buzz of uncertainty fills the air from adults and young people alike. A combination of giddiness and apprehension as adrenaline is about to spike. Motivations differ for all. Today's about experience and change. Within the space, emotions range. Excitement about ping pong and pool and free food and maybe a day off school. Leading into the session, the room was packed. The agenda stacked as the future of Lancashire assembled, and hope was about to get hacked. The tone was set about you guys being the experts based on your experience to be brave and share excerpts of a life lived in Lancashire. John and Yahi opened the space. Ashley chipped in and spoke of his race to success and how it was fueled with challenges until he found his place. His aspiration grew by being prompted to see a life beyond the current environment that he knew. A very clear message: there is no limit on us, regardless of background. Messages of hope blossomed around the building as it was time to hear your voice, each group taking a topic and discussing frustrations, often a lack of choice, but the infectious chatter of solutions was something to rejoice. A lot of what was said came down to a cultural shift. Instead of keeping us held down, it was time to give each other a lift. Reduce this regimented authority and see individuality and expression as a gift. And look, there's complexities through which we must sift, but how about we start by seeing one another as humans? Questions about whether systems allow for care and compassion, or is it just about the academic curriculum we can fathom? Where is creativity, music, art, even fashion? We've all got our own needs, wants, lives, and a passion. One thing's for certain though, when it comes to school, there's a place for learning about finances, mortgages and tax. Because turning 18, we want to be independent instead of feeling like a fool. It's undeniable that there's often tension with police, but maybe instead of crisis moments, they sometimes had a release to spend time outside of police in moments, and maybe positive relationships will increase. But it's a balance between a presence and intimidation. And so maybe neutral spaces are key for this mediation. And then, look, there's knife crime. Media hype that carrying a blade is the new normality, but is it an urban myth or this generation's reality? Kids bleeding out in 5 minutes, well, is that enough clarity? No punishments, no alternatives, no lights, no conversation, and they wonder why kids walk around their communities with reservation. Whether out on the streets or social media on our phones, the narrative is so negative. Older people having a whinge and a moan, we go on social media for the buzz. But we're starting to realise it's a lot more negative for us. Addictive, toxic, fake, losing confidence, self-esteem about to break. We want to see more people like us on the news, more positive stories and celebrations to change society's views. But this doom and gloom, it affects our mental health. Sometimes it's really obvious and sometimes it's by stealth. Teachers stressing, Ofsted interfering and messing, no time for my problems, told to put them back on the shelf. Constantly comparing to others. They've had it much worse. What have I got to complain about? But I need to break this generational curse. If I keep bottling this feeling up, it won't be long until I burst. We need good listeners. Safe spaces, not necessarily always a solution. A sense of belonging and connection seems so simple, but it's key to this revolution. And back to work you went, to build a vision for your idea and, to be frank, a plethora of solutions informed by wisdom beyond your years. And it was clear that there was tenacity and a capacity for bringing about change, like improving transport links in towns and villages outside the city, because when you're isolated, well, life can feel pretty okay, I'll rephrase that. You feel down. How is it I can navigate somewhere like London in a heartbeat, but I struggle getting to the other side of my own town? Youth-led campaigns, young people-led radio, creating a positive media buzz. Youth days in schools with open conversations, speakers, and those difficult topics chosen by us. Research projects about the resources required. learning new skills and experience to complement the ones we've already acquired, stripping away power, removing uniforms at youth clubs even just for an hour, where young people connect with police and professionals so relationships can start to be built and feel that little less sour. Mental health becoming a priority in our schools, empathy, expression, excitement. Let's drop the draconian rules, life skills and knowledge to throw into our box of tools. The presentations were incredible. A mixture of voices and suggestions. We had speeches, rap, drama and song, pushing your artistic dimensions, offering practical, modern solutions to some really challenging questions. And listen, as for the shout outs, there's far too many to mention, but I'm going to remember this day because I saw ambition shared without fear. A collective of young people with a united message so clear that hope exists. And together, towards it we can steer. Thank you.